Just how good are Chelsea and how much better should we be?
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo, what's poppin', people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well. Really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News. Chelsea walked away from Stamford Bridge yesterday, 3-2 winners against Newcastle United, with all the owners watching on from the director's box, including Adam Sandler. I don't know. They'll be pleased by three excellent goals from three different goal scorers from Chelsea, all young, developing players, so the future certainly is looking bright in that sense. I did do a complete breakdown, match reaction of that game. I do suggest you guys go check it out if you're yet to watch it. It's my previous upload to this one, and I go into detail about that match. Of course, not perfect, a few defensive frailties, but yeah, people like Malo Gusto, Nico Jackson, Cole Palmer, Mikhailo Mudryk, we can speak about Mudryk a little bit in this video, potentially as well. Lots of positive stuff there, but the big question is, would Chelsea be doing better without Mauricio Pochettino? Of course, he's had some quotes that are going around the media again. I want to reflect on it a little bit more and put the question to you guys about where we are and where we could be. So thanks for joining me. Thank you for supporting the content as always. I really do appreciate everyone who is part of the Football Therapy community. I've had the channel for many, many years now, and I've managed to cultivate a wonderful community of followers. So feel free to subscribe, join the gang, hit the bell if you do subscribe. I'll thank you for liking the video because it's a way to let the YouTube algorithm know that you exist. Why not comment and share if you want to go all out and show some love? Alright then, friends, let's get into it. Let's start off with some Cole Palmer love. We'll swing back round to him in just a moment, but Chelsea tweeted this. Cole Palmer has been directly involved in 19 goals in his last 19 Premier League appearances for Chelsea, 11 goals and 8 assists. The most ever goal contributions in a Premier League season for Chelsea by a player aged 21 or younger. I mean, already that's incredible. He's already beaten the record for aged 21 or younger for a Chelsea player in the Premier League. And he's got a bunch of games left as well to push that record even higher. What a sensational signing Cole Palmer is. And despite Chelsea languishing in mid-table, he will absolutely not regret the move to Chelsea. It's clearly the perfect, I say environment. The environment doesn't seem great, but just the right move for him, because he's fulfilling this role and expressing himself like clearly he needs to do for his development. Look, I think Cole Palmer will get better and better and better. Gareth Southgate was watching on, probably for him and Anthony Gordon. Of course, Gordon went off injured. And look, if Gareth Southgate does not call up Cole Palmer for the England squad for the Euros, I will defect to the France national team. As is my right as someone who's half French. We need to see Cole Palmer in the England team. But we'll circle back round to him in just a moment. Let's hop over and talk about something Pochettino said after the game. So Fabrizio Romano tweets Pochettino's quotes, "We need to understand players are young and we are in a project that is completely different. Some people can be confused. We are a different Chelsea. But the relationship with the owners is good." This is going around the media because a lot of people are upset with Mauricio Pochettino. A lot of Chelsea fans want him out. So therefore, Romano taking an opportunity here to show people the owners do back Mauricio Pochettino. I think more so Badad Egbali, but so many different reporters. Of course, David Ornstein has reported this, who's like the head honcho of The Athletic. And personally, for me, there's no greater authority than David Ornstein when it comes to football reporting, whether that is like transfers or indeed managerial news like this. So Chelsea will be looking at potential new managers should they have to hire one. But plan A remains the same. They want to back Mauricio Pochettino to lead them in this project that they've invested a lot of time and even more money in. But is Pochettino right? Do we need to change our expectations? We are still Chelsea. This is tough, man, because my position's maintained the same. I wouldn't cry for Pochettino if he was sacked tonight, but if you said, should we sack him, I'd say, probably not, because I don't think there's a solution, an immediate alternative that makes much more sense. And if the players are happy with him and are playing for him, which seemingly they are, and if the owners feel like they can communicate with him for the moment to navigate whatever they're trying to move for as a club at the moment, whether it's PSR rules, whether it's the stuff with the Roman, allegations, the financial irregularities, whether it's, bringing back certain players, buying a striker maybe, making sure they can play with the current young Chelsea players and that profile and psychological psychological profile will suit them. There's no guy better to explain the squad at the moment than Pochettino through his experience. I get that they don't just want to can another sort of process project manager, and though I didn't think Potter was the man for Chelsea, what they've invested in here, there is no alternative to just slam dunk and do really well. But the question is, could someone else have done better? Well, yeah, of course. We're in the bottom half of the Premier League table. Look, man, I refuse to believe, okay. I do want to actually reference someone here, Andy Brassel. Some of you guys might know him. He's a football journalist, broadcaster, who I really, really respect, actually. He's not a Chelsea fan, he's a Wimbledon fan, but he's a European football expert. He's like a sort of guru on European football. I have actually dug him out once before when he was like slagging off Chelsea, and I think he was quite amicable and respectful in his response. But his position that he's kept is, yeah, this is about right, and they would be mental to get rid of Pochettino. And he's obviously looking from the outside in. I don't think it would be mental to get rid of Pochettino, but I think Chelsea fans do, to a degree, need to accept we're in a different place now. Not that we're going to be a mid-table, team that accepts mediocrity forever, but that we took the decision to front-load pain with this project, with clearing the decks, new players, new coaching staff, new medical staff, new everything, with obviously a load of mistakes. But I think even if they didn't forecast this much pain, there was an element of, yeah, it's going to suck at the beginning, because this is how this process works when you change everything and you buy young players. It's not just going to work and be good, it's going to suck for a while at the beginning, but then it will inherently get better as the players grow up, learn each other, as you learn what this young squad needs to sort of make it slightly better. Essentially, it's the opposite of a Mourinho, older players doing well now. It's front-loading pain, going through the difficulties, and it paying dividends down the line. But yes, none of us, despite Chelsea fans being very patient, they have been very patient. No one expected it to be this bad. So ultimately, of course, another coach could come in and do better. And I do have sympathy for Poch. I think he's been dealt a really difficult job. Actually, you know what? Screw it. No, I don't have sympathy for Poch. He signed up for this. He said in multiple press conferences, yeah, I knew exactly what I was getting into, and this is it. So, yeah, it sucked. Maybe it was harder than you thought it would be, and maybe more things went wrong than you thought would be with injuries and stuff, or whatever. But ultimately, this is the job you took, man. So I don't really have sympathy for him. But I do have a general understanding of why things are bad. And I don't necessarily agree with Andy Brassel when he says we'd be mental to sack Poch, but as time goes on and I try and be as balanced as possible, I can see why they would be keeping their powder dry for a little bit longer than some Chelsea fans may want in terms of keeping the manager. But another massive thing is, how do the players feel? Are they happy? I mean, it looks like they're playing for him. It looks like they're playing for each other. I want to read some of Cole Palmer's quotes now from an article from the Evening Standard. Cole Palmer is confident Chelsea's project with young players will come good under Mauricio Pochettino, even if it takes another season or two. Yeesh. The 21-year-old was again the star for the Blues on Monday night as he helped ease the pressure on Pochettino with a goal and an assist, of course, in the 3-2 win over Newcastle. Chelsea are still in the bottom half of the Premier League table, but despite a difficult season, Palmer insists the future is bright at Stamford Bridge. He says this, quote, "There is so much talent at Chelsea," he said. "The fans don't see it, but the way the manager works us on the pitch, the things he does with us, it's only gonna get better. I am sure if it's not next season, then the season after, it is a project. Everyone is young. You will see it sooner or later." We're still in the FA Cup. Hopefully we win on Sunday against Leicester and get to Wembley again. We will take each league game as it comes, hopefully climb the table and see where we finish. Yeah, I get it, and maybe it's easier for Palmer to be all positive because he's absolutely shredding up the scene at the moment, but it does look like there's a togetherness. And, as Chelsea fans over the last, the Roman Abramovich era, the last 20, 25 years, you see when it turns sour with these Galactico managers, the players look unhappy and they're not playing for each other. There does seem to be a togetherness with the Chelsea players, and Pochettino's looked like a broken man at times, but he still has an admirable resolve in his press conferences. Like, yeah, look, it sucks, but this is what we're going through at the moment. It's tough, man. Look, Arteta finished mid-table twice. Klopp had a rough early season. Even Guardiola underperformed in his first season, despite the club already being built for him in terms of Galacticos and title winners and infrastructure. We're doing that all now at once with a young team. It's probably par. I know it sounds awful, the money spent and what we're used to, but I think last season as well massively bleeds into this season in terms of disappointment and expectation, and then more signings, more expensive good summer signings, and the Caicedo to join Enzo, and Palmer and Nico and Nkunku joining, and just the expectation of just being really good all of a sudden. It's unrealistic. You need that foundational structure settled and built, and it's been rebuilt from nothing. The truth is, if you compare not just metrics from last season, which are all up and more positive, despite being about the same place in the league table, the football that's played, the chances created, the goals, the pressing's all way up from last season. It's way better. Of course, there's more of a togetherness because the dressing room's not overly bloated, filled with people like Aubameyang that aren't playing and, weird stuff like that. And there has been more memorable performances this season. Of course, we did get to a cup final, despite that being disappointing, and loads of good results against settled teams like your Tottenham. Well, Tottenham aren't settled, and so that's probably not a good example there, but certainly Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, we've certainly shown at times we can mix it with really good settled teams. It's just not there yet. Look, I'm not calling for patience at time. You do what you want, man. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm just trying to sort of use the football therapy space here to try and navigate how I feel about it. Again, man, I wouldn't care if Pochettino is sacked, because whoever comes in, I hope they just understand the job they're getting into in terms of, yes, this is Project 2030, you've got young players, you're going to have to work in a multi-club model, all this stuff that the owners want to do. If the new guy that comes in accepts all that, great, then let's see what he can do in terms of tactics on the pitch. And to be honest, if a new guy comes in the summer, who probably would have actually benefited from this season of Mauricio Pochettino, that people don't want to give him any credit because he's not been amazing, but there's been amazing young performers at times. Nico, I think, has really benefited. Nico Jackson from Pochettino. Certainly Gallagher, Cole Palmer have been really, really good. Malagusto is going from strength to strength. And, really, the main disappointing narrative, I think, is the £200 million men in midfield. Caicedo's had good moments, and Enzo's got a few assists and goals now, which was an improvement from the 6 months of last season. But it's not clicked, is it? Anyway, understandably, Pochettino is defending himself here and saying those things. Of course, he's going to say those things. We'll see what happens. Of course, every game now, he's under pressure. Even if he's right about what he says with the process and project, and other managers wouldn't be doing any better than him because of what he's dealing with. I don't entirely agree, but don't entirely disagree either. Regardless, if we get eliminated from the FA Cup by Leicester and he loses a couple of Premier League games, the noise might just be too hot to handle for him and he might get sacked. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Comment on Pochettino. I do want to end the video and speak a little bit about Mudryk. So this is kind of reiterating some stuff that I've said before. I maintain my position on Mudryk. I do think he had a lot of pressure on him. The failed move to Arsenal, which he really wanted, by the way. Coming to Chelsea, taking the number 10 shirt, obviously having all the stuff that's going on in his home country. Just the general pressure of a high fee and maybe a bit more of a sensitive guy. It's been tough for the guy, but like I've always maintained here on the channel, the big issue with Mudryk is he's just massively undercoached. He doesn't have that much first team experience. Even when we signed him, he didn't have much first team experience. Like I said before, all the sort of talented South Americans, Brazilians left Shakhtar. They're allowed to rip up their contracts. It was left with just playing the ball into the left channel into Mudryk and letting him vibe out. There's no high level intense coaching there, which is absolutely mandatory at Premier League level, especially if you want to play like Chelsea want to play and mix it with the big teams. That's our plan, our intent. You need to be really, really, to be honest, if he was at Brighton or Brentford, De Zerbi or Thomas Frank respectively would have massive issues with trying to implement Mudryk with his level of previous coaching. It's just super tough. But the talent is there, man. We know he's super fast transitionally. We know he's good with the ball at his feet. We saw it at that amazing goal yesterday. When he plays on instinct and his intuition, he's amazing. Because he was like, right, Gallagher's a bit of a loose touch. I'm going to take the ball off him, nutmeg this guy, dribble it round and round the keeper. That was all instinct. As soon as you give him too much to think about, he's poor and he floats in and out of games. But it's still exciting because you've got him for a long time and it's there. It's there and he's 22. It's not like 27 and you sign him because you saw flashes every now and again and you think, oh God, by the time we get out of him, he might be body might be slowing down or something. No. He's young, he's got time, and he's really, really good. And I think possibly, if we can keep him maintained in this space, he can really light up for Chelsea. Look, it's frustrating, like the rest of them, he didn't just come into Chelsea and do really well. Last season was mental. That bled into this season. Of course, he, like Nico, looks like he was going to link up really, really well with Christopher Nkunku. And that was, our attack was kind of built around Nkunku in pre-season, of course. That all went out the window, and we had to make a new plan as the season started, which really didn't help us. But Mudryk was one of those guys that looks like he can link up well with Nkunku. He looks like he can link up very, very well with Nico Jackson in pre-season when the pressure's off in warm weather. But the pressure, the noise just grew and grew and grew around this Chelsea team and these attackers. And it's led to where we are. It's only really Cole Palmer who seems to be invulnerable to this kind of noise and stuff and just shrugs it all off and performs amazingly. Mudryk, Jackson, Palmer, Gusto, the two midfielders will eventually settle. It's such an amazing young team, and in 5 years to half a decade, they'll be in their prime. So they won't be done in 5 years, they'll be in their prime in 5 years. So it's interesting to hear Cole Palmer come out and say, look, it might not be this season, well, it's not this season, it might not be next season, but maybe it's the season after. You guys wait and see. And that's amazing patience from the young man. Again, it's easier when you're just getting all these individual awards and having a lovely time. Like, I'm friggin' wicked. But don't worry, the process, the project will come good. Maybe if he was struggling a little bit more, it'll be harder for him to say, just wait a couple of years. Do you know what I mean? But it will be easier for us Chelsea fans to wait with a few more performances like that. Maybe one or two less goals conceded and a few more bangers from Mudryk, and get the numbers of Nico Jackson are starting to look really, really good. He's already outscored Kai Havertz's best Premier League campaign for Chelsea. I'm not even going to compare Cole Palmer to Kai Havertz because that's just not fair. He's just going to blow him out of the water. And in fact, I think Nico Jackson's one goal of Didier Drogba's first Chelsea season, and this is first Chelsea season. So deep that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to reading your comments. I do thank everyone who likes the video and shares. And of course, you're all welcome to subscribe. Right, see you back here soon. Peace.